Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So, we got some news for you guys. It's not very good news, especially if you are a Swamp Thing fan. So, it looks like the DC streaming app show Swamp Thing is only going to have one season. After the first episode, it was announced it's going to be canceled. So, we'd already known for a little bit that the first season had been reduced from 13 episodes down to 10, which was, of course, not a good sign, and a lot of people behind the scenes were really unhappy about that, I guess because it had to cut the story down to what they called the bare bones. But what we know even since then is that the series is going to only have those 10 episodes. So a lot of the headlines you guys may have seen yesterday when this news was announced is just that Swamp Thing was canceled. So it is going to still have its 10 episodes that will air on the streaming app. Now, one thing that's weird about the streaming app is I'm hearing a lot of people say it's not available outside of the United States, which to me just makes no sense. Like, they're cutting out huge market. I mean, like 90% of the world's population lives outside of the United States. So they really need to expand that if they want the DC app to grow. And they are putting a lot of new content on there. I was just reading the other day, in April, they put like 12,000 new DC comics on there. So you can read a lot on there right now, but some of the shows are definitely having a lot of issues. Swamp Thing being the primary example. It's kind of crazy it's already canceled, especially because the first episode had really good ratings. It has like a 92%. Most of the people who watched it seem to be really positive. There's a few example tweets here. This person said, "I freaking can't stop rewatching the pilot. Been like that since 8 o'clock this morning. It's so good." And another person says, "Just watch the first episode. This is fantastic." So a lot of people really liked it. I actually didn't watch the first episode. I did watch the trailer, and I did do a review of the trailer. I didn't really like it. It's just not for me. It's really dark. This looked like it was going to be a straight-up horror series, and it's dark, like literally and figuratively. At least the trailer was. It was really hard for me to see what was going on, and just to me that wasn't very appealing. I do like Swamp Thing as a character, though, but I like it more when it's emphasized that he's the good guy, and it doesn't have quite so many horror elements, although it could just be because it's so dark. I mean, I like the old Swamp Thing movie. I think it was from '82, but that was directed by Wes Craven. I mean, it was definitely a horror movie, but maybe it's just because it was filmed in the '80s. It just does not seem that scary to me. Like, it's very bright, you know, most of the scenes take place in the daytime, whereas the Swamp Thing show, at least the trailer to me, was just so dark. I was kind of like, what even is this? So if you guys watched the first episode, let me know what you think. Did you like it? And of course, if you're outside of the US, I guess you weren't able to watch it, which to me is just kind of mind-boggling. If all of this stuff is streaming and online, why is it so restricted? Another thing I always was kind of wondering about is, you know, Warner Brothers owns DC. Why did they make a DC streaming app instead of just making a Warner Brothers streaming app? A lot more people would buy in if it was everything in Warner Brothers, or at least most of Warner Brothers. You know, they've made tons of movies. You could have The Matrix and all kinds of things on there. Wouldn't have to be limited to DC. You could even include Bugs Bunny and stuff like that. But maybe they didn't want to because it would compete with their other properties. I don't know. It's just there's so many streaming apps, like the Disney's gonna have a streaming app, and even CBS has an app. So it's like, why wouldn't Warner Brothers just make their own streaming service and include DC as a part of that instead of trying to build everything? It'd be like if Disney made a Marvel streaming app but didn't just make a Disney streaming app. You know, that's going to include all of the Disney stuff, all the Star Wars stuff, all the Marvel stuff. So I don't know why Warner Brothers didn't just go the same route. It's kind of like with the movies, though. It seems like DC is always one step behind, or I should say Warner Brothers is always one step behind Disney when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I don't know, I'm a little surprised that Swamp Thing was instantly canceled, but they are launching a lot of shows at the same time. There's still going to be Doom Patrol and Titans, and Stargirl's going to be coming, so I know they've got a lot of other stuff planned too. So I guess that's all for now. Let me know what you think. Are you disappointed about the show being canceled? I mean, I kinda am, but to be honest, it just didn't look that good to me personally. But I'm in the minority on this one, I think, because it had a really good series of reviews. It seems like most people really liked it. So that's all for now. Let me know down below what you think. And as always, be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And as always, thank you for watching and being a part of DC Fans United.
End of line.